Today we're plunging into the oceanic realms once again with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The first film was a tidal wave of excitement, but does the sequel hold up to its predecessor? And most importantly, is it a fitting send-off to the expansive world of the DCEU? So let's explore the depths of Atlantis once more and answer these burning questions. Hit the subscribe button, and starting 2024 I'll be attempting to do weekly uploads. Let's see how well that goes, and without further ado, let's dive right in. The road for this sequel has been rough, with the whole thing about being absolutely despised by test audiences, being re-edited, having a bunch of reshoots, the Amber Heard situation, and the DC universe being reset. It just seemed like everything was going to go wrong for this movie and be a complete mess. But having seen the movie, I have to admit, it's not that bad. Is it better than the first Aquaman? Hell no, but it's not Quantumania level of bad. There are a couple of flaws, but it's still pretty entertaining. What was so captivating about the first film were its visuals, especially Atlantis, which look stunning. I'm happy a lot of these vibrant colors and sceneries present in the first film are in this one as well. The underwater scenes are still some of my favorites in the film just because of how full of life everything looks. I'm not saying the scenes happening on land look bad, but they aren't as beautiful as underwater. The only exception I could see would be the jungle section, which again is colorful, but the mix of CGI is not the best. Ironically, it's the stunning bright colors that make the CGI look off. When we're in Atlantis, it all looks good, but when the scenes are set on land, the green screen is really noticeable. What happened there? Action-wise though, this movie shines. James Wan is known for directing more horror than anything, but man does he know how to make some cool action scenes. Whenever the characters start fighting, you forget all about the negatives of the film and start enjoying seeing Jason Momoa kick ass. This is mostly due to Black Manta, who has like 2 or 3 fights with Aquaman, I think. They're all fantastic, but that final battle goes so freaking hard. James Wan absolutely cooked. It is some of the best action I've seen, but I just wish there was much longer. Kinda sucks that the best fight is the shortest, but the rest of the action sequences are also as good. Continuing with a couple of positives, the characters in this movie are still charismatic for the most part. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I still think is good, and I still don't see how people see him as a miscast. I get that him laughing and screaming all the time can get annoying, but you're telling me if you're an Atlantean swimming at incredible speeds, you wouldn't want to show your excitement at times? Come on. Patrick Wilson also returns as Norm and has a more buddy/brotherly relationship with Arthur. He's the one who seems like he's genuinely having the most fun doing a different take on the character. He still has some of that menacing tone from the previous movie, but that gets forgotten quickly to throw in a couple of jokes. Not as bad as Thor: Love and Thunder, but less than the first movie. The big elephant in the room being Amber Heard as Mera is the most forgettable part of the movie. The way they write her out is a decision, to say the least. The best character though has to be Black Manta. I have to say, bro is a menace. When it was announced he would be the big bad of the movie, it just didn't make sense to me, but I shouldn't have doubted them, cause this guy is a freaking badass. He's treated like a real menace that has an actual chance against Aquaman. His personality before getting possessed is peak dialogue, to be honest, and he's got one of my favorite shots in the film. If you know, you know. Now, the movie's not perfect. Starting with its less compelling story, it follows somewhat of a predictable path, lacking any possibility of a twist that could have elevated the narrative a bit more. It doesn't break away from anything we haven't seen before from other comic book movies. The storyline is somewhat formulaic and, dare I say, safe. You can tell from a mile away where it's headed, and that makes the viewing experience less interesting. The biggest reason people are going to watch this movie in theaters is because of its technical aspects, including the sound. Speaking about sound, the soundtrack, I know, really weird transition. The soundtrack is way better than I was expecting. While there are a couple of formulaic notes to it, there are some more stylized sounds that make them stand out. Once again, Black Manta takes the spotlight in this category. Can you tell that he's the best part of the film? Now, this sequel marks the end of the DCEU, which sounds logical. Ending your universe with a sequel to your most successful movie sounds like the best option. Except it does not feel like the end of this version of DC. It feels more like a progressive chapter rather than a conclusion. While they do wrap up some of the loose ends of the first movie, they don't give an end to the rest of the extended universe, which is really understandable. There was no way they knew this would be the final DCEU movie, and it may not be the best film out there, but again, it's not Ant-Man 3 level of bad because that movie was shit. In the end, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, while not the best sequel out there, is not the worst DC movie. While it may not live to the surprise that was the 2018 film, it's a fun continuation and conclusion to the story of this version of Aquaman. It's got great action and visuals, a great score, and a good couple of jokes that make a trip to the theater worth the while. I'm going to give Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom a 7.2 out of 10. But again, that is my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.